Alright, so this is going to be a little bit different from my normal type of videos. But today, I want to share with you one of my favorite books in terms of career advice. It's called So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. And there's one concept that he talks about that completely changed how I think about passion. I'm going to go ahead and quote him here. He says, "If you really want to be paid more, get better at what you do." That seems pretty obvious, right? Like if you want to get paid more for something, get better at it. But we all know people who are passionate about something, maybe even ourselves included, where we're like, "Oh, I just love doing this thing. It doesn't matter how much money I make from it, or how little money I make from it. I just love doing it." And that's why following your passion is bad advice. That's why it's not a good idea to find your passion and then monetize it, because most of us aren't going to be very good at it. We're just going to be average, and then we're going to burn out. We're just going to get tired of doing it because it's hard. It's not easy being good at something. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes dedication. The path to making money from doing something you love is almost never a straight line. It's more like an inverted U-shaped curve. It takes time to build up the skills to be good at it. Then once you get to the top of that curve, you can start to monetize it. You can start to make money from it, and you can start to leverage your skills to make even more money. If you're looking for a shortcut to success, if you're looking to make money quickly without putting in the work, then this book isn't for you. This is a book for people who are willing to put in the work, who are willing to spend the time, and who are willing to get really good at something because they want to build a meaningful career. Now, let me explain this a little bit further with some examples. So there's two types of people in the world. There's people who are good at something, and they love it. And then there's people who love something, but they're not very good at it. Which one do you think is more likely to succeed? Which one do you think is going to make more money? Now, of course, I don't mean to stereotype people who are passionate about something and aren't very good at it. I'm sure many of you watching this video fall into that category, and you found a way to monetize it. Maybe you found a way to make money from your passion. But for the vast majority of people, this is not the case. A lot of us get into things and we're excited about them and we think, "Oh, I am passionate about this. I'm going to make a YouTube channel about it." And then 6 months later, we're like, "You know what? I'm really not enjoying this. I'm not getting any views. I'm not getting any subscribers. Why am I doing this?" And then we move on to the next thing. And we repeat that process over and over again. We have what's called passion fatigue. We get tired of doing things because they're hard, and we don't see the payoff immediately. Think about when you were in school. When was the last time you were really passionate about something? When was the last time you were really excited about learning something new? Now remember how difficult that subject was. Remember how much effort you had to put in to learn it. Do you remember the payoff? Did you actually use that knowledge later on in life? Or did you forget everything you learned? Most of us forget most of the things we learn in school. We only remember the stuff that was hard, the stuff that we had to really put effort into. Why is that? Because our brains are wired to remember things that are difficult, things that challenge us, things that force us to grow. And the same thing applies to our careers. We need to find things that are challenging. We need to find things that force us to grow, because that's how we're going to be successful. It's not easy being good at something. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes dedication. But the upside is that if you do become good at something, if you do become an expert, then you will be rewarded for it. You will be rewarded with money, with recognition, with respect. So how do we find something we're good at? How do we find something that we can monetize? Well, according to Cal Newport, we need to look for something that has high skill and high creativity. The reason for this is because if we can combine high skill with high creativity, then we're going to be able to create something that's valuable. We're going to be able to create something that people are willing to pay for. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're good at writing. Let's say you're really creative and you're able to write really interesting stories. You could write fiction. You could write nonfiction. You could write anything. You have the skills and you have the creativity to do it. But is there a market for what you're selling? Is there a market for your stories? Or let's say you're really good at painting. You can paint anything. You can paint landscapes. You can paint portraits. You can paint anything you want. But is there a market for your paintings? Is there a market for your art? If there's no market for what you're creating, then you're never going to make any money. You're never going to be able to sell your paintings. You're never going to be able to sell your stories. So what we need to do is find the intersection between high skill and high creativity. We need to find something that's both challenging and rewarding. And once we find that intersection, then we need to double down on it. We need to become experts at it. We need to become masters at it. And the reason for this is because the better we become at something, the more valuable we become. The more valuable we become, the more money we can charge for our services, the more money we can charge for our products, and the more money we can make, the more leverage we have. The more leverage we have, the more freedom we have. And the more freedom we have, the happier we're going to be. This is why following your passion is bad advice, because most of us aren't going to be very good at it. Most of us are just going to be average, and then we're going to burn out. We're just going to get tired of doing it because it's hard. It's not easy being good at something. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes dedication. But here's the thing. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to get really good at something, then you can make a career out of it. You can make a living doing what you love. You just have to be willing to put in the time and the effort. You have to be willing to grow. If you want to know more about Cal Newport's ideas on how to find your passion, how to find something that you're good at, then I highly recommend you read his book. It's called So Good They Can't Ignore You, and it's one of the best books I've ever read on career advice. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to hear more from me, then subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every week on personal finance, entrepreneurship, and investing. And until next time, take care.